Okay, we are live. Thank you so much for tuning into our Wednesday morning devotional. If you are watching this from Facebook, I want to encourage you to hit the like button, hit the share button, and please leave us a comment down below. As always, I want to be very respectful of your time, so let's jump right in. I believe every person watching this right now is in one of three places. You are either in the middle of a difficult season, coming out of a difficult season, or about to enter into a difficult season. Now, I know that's not very encouraging, but it is true. The harsh reality is we live in a fallen, sinful world where we will undoubtedly face trials, hardships, and difficulties. I think a lot of people, because of watered-down teaching and preaching, are under the misconception that if they follow Jesus, it will all be rainbows, butterflies, blessings, and promotions. And please don't get me wrong. Following Jesus is the most rewarding thing that I have ever done, and God has graciously blessed me and my family. And I'm convinced He'll do the same for you. But it is simply unbiblical to think that Christians are immune to difficult seasons. Think about some people in the Bible. Think about Job. He lost his livestock, his family, his health, and everything that he had all at the same time. Think about Stephen, who was stoned to death for preaching the gospel. Think about Paul, who was imprisoned for doing the right thing. Think about Jesus himself, who was betrayed, tortured, arrested, and crucified. In Acts chapter 14, verse 22, it says, "We must go through many tribulations to enter the kingdom of God." In John chapter 16, verse 33, it says, "In the world you will have tribulation." God in His Word never promises that life will be easy. He doesn't use His Word to pacify us. He uses His Word to prepare us. He makes it very clear that there is a cost associated with following Jesus. He makes it very clear that trials, hardships, and difficulties are an inevitable part of life. I'm definitely not an artist, but today I want to share a couple of my drawings with you. This first drawing is a drawing of how we think life should go. We think life should be this constant climb. Everything should fall into place. Every day should be better than the previous day. Every month should be better than the previous month. And every year should be better than the previous year. This is how we think life should go. But this second drawing is a drawing of how life actually goes. It's a lot less like a constant climb and a lot more like a roller coaster. There are a lot of ups and downs. There are seasons when everything is falling in place and going your way. And then there are seasons when everything is falling apart and nothing seems to go your way. There are seasons when you're motivated, productive, and passionate about what you're doing. And then there are seasons when you're discouraged, burnt out, and on the verge of giving up altogether. I want you to notice something else about this second drawing. There are a lot of ups and downs, but the ups continue to get higher. In other words, there is a valley, but the valley is followed by a peak that is even higher than the previous peak. Here's what I've come to realize in my own life. The valleys teach me more than the mountaintops ever will. And if it weren't for the lesson I learned in the valley, I wouldn't have the knowledge, the strength, or the humility to make it to the mountaintop. Here's the big point. God can take what seems to be a setback in your life, and He can use it as a setup for something much greater. And I'll say that one more time because I believe someone needs to hear it this morning. God can take what seems to be a setback in your life, and He can use it as a setup for something much greater. Unfortunately, when life gets difficult, we have a tendency to turn from God. But our first instinct shouldn't be to turn from God. Our first instinct should be to run to God. As tempting as it may be, the valley is not the time to become complacent. The valley is not the time to give up. The valley is not the time to throw in the towel. The valley is an opportunity to persevere. The valley is an opportunity to trust God. The valley is an opportunity to learn valuable lessons needed for what God has in store for you next. I'll leave you with Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. It says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So God doesn't promise that life will be easy, but He does promise He will be present. I want you to know God is with you right now. He is with you wherever you go. This week, remember, when you see a setback, God sees a set up for something much greater. Stay safe and have a great week.